Pretty exciting game, wasn't it? And our guys, at the end, bottom line, we found a way to win. They displayed a lot of guts. And we made one more play than they did to win the game. And I will say this, I'm really proud of our team. A lot of respect for BYU, always do. Their kids played extremely hard. It was an interesting game. There was a lot of momentum changes and I would say stoppage of momentum with penalties and a lot of yellow hankies on the field tonight. So we'll go back and look at that, but it was an interesting game from that standpoint. But at the end, they made big plays. They got down there in the red zone. We got them on the goal line and kind of got ourselves in position and found a way to get it done. So I told our team I was really proud of just their guts they displayed. And anything you do, we're going to be critiqued. We'll critique ourselves more than anybody else, but sometimes you just got to go out there and get it done. And that's what those guys did. And it's as simple as that. I don't know any other way to explain it. So we found a way to win, and we did. So questions? Yes.
Before that final play, you guys had the timeout. What was your message to the team in the timeout?
We have no more timeouts, and neither do they. And there's 7 seconds left, so this is the last play. That's really what it was. It was just this was going to be it. I kind of figured they would do something where they roll the quarterback, give him a run-pass option because he can run. He showed that tonight. Maybe they fire it, a little pick route. I think that was what they were going to try to do when we called the timeout, and they changed it. And then he ran the quarterback and scrambled around, and he's slippery as we saw tonight, and we were able to tackle him. So really the message was, it'd been all night, do your job, but the message was there's one more play. This is it, and this is our opportunity to go out there and get it done, win the game, and that's exactly what happened.
You've been around a couple Boise State BYU games, obviously, and
yes.
It seemed like it was almost destined for it to end, kind of in that sort of fashion.
Right.
What was it like, just being a part of it? Just kind of, like I said, I think you almost probably agree with me that it was going to end up coming down to somebody making a play right at the end of the game.
Sure. Well, I didn't know that until they hit that little screen, and I saw their guy go for what he went 80 yards. Well, I don't know what he went for. He went for a lot of yards, and they're down in the red zone, and at that point it was like, all right, this is going to be one of those games. It's going to come down to they're going to score, we're going to drive down, we're getting our 2 minutes set up, trying to figure out what we have to do, hopefully get a big return. If they scored and there was 2 seconds left, then we're going to have to do something, some type of miracle play at the end of the game. But our defense stepped up, and it's a credit to our team in that moment. Plenty of things that we didn't do well enough throughout the night, but we did it well enough in that situation, which a long game, you get to the fourth quarter in the last 7 seconds, and that's what matters most, and it did tonight, and we won it.
Both Brett and Jabril brought up the fact that somebody from BYU came out and stuck a BYU flag at the center of the field right prior to kickoff. Did you see that at all, or?
Like a little one you put in a sandwich? It's like that? Is that what they did? Because I didn't see anything stuck on the field out there. No, I didn't see any of that. Okay. Shenanigans, I don't know. Those things happen. I don't think that's, I really don't, I don't think that's something that they talk about throughout the week. Sometimes guys do things in games, and if that's what they did, then I didn't see it. I didn't see it, obviously it didn't stick, so it wasn't that big a deal.
I'm not sure the exact number, but I think it was 7 times that they got across the 30 tonight. Only got in the end zone 1 time.
Yeah.
Your defense all year, it seems like it's kind of had their back against the wall, the injuries they've had to deal with. For that group to do what they did tonight, up against their goal line all night, and obviously the last play, what did they show you tonight?
Yeah, well, we've had guys injured, we've had guys out. We had a few guys out tonight. Hopefully we get those guys back. Next man up. I've told you, you guys have asked before, I said there's no excuses. We have guys on this team, we have depth at positions, they've got to be able to play. You don't see them as much as we do because they're not out there. And tonight you got to see a lot more of them. And the bottom line is they all came here to play. They all came here to be on the field. They all came here to play in games like this and hopefully have moments like they did tonight. So really proud of our coaches to get their units developed, ready, so if there is injuries, they can step in and play. We don't have to scrap a lot of our game plan when that happens. And then to be in that moment tonight, some of those guys never played in the BYU game, you know, and all of a sudden now they're in it, and it's a big moment, and it's that far to go, and you're going to win or lose, and they got it done. So you grow up fast. Those guys will have to play. They did well tonight, and you know, I'm just proud of our guys. I'm proud of the defense for overcoming a lot of adversity and not flinching and not making that an excuse, and nobody saying we don't have this guy and we don't have that guy. It is what it is, but we got Jordan Apple out there. We got Tyree Jones out there. Those guys can play. We had other guys that can step up. Tony Lashley came in and played in packages tonight. Jabari Watson came in and played in packages tonight. So we got those guys. We got guys like that guys haven't heard as much about, but guess what? They found a way to get it done. So, you know, that's that part of coaching and being in, you know, kind of an atmosphere like we are, where other guys get a chance to step up, and you're proud of them. They did.
Well, you guys were able to win tonight against your rival as well. How do you use this win to springboard momentum looking at the next couple of weeks?
I don't know yet. Yeah, it's always, I mean, there's a lot of positives to me out of this game. And schematically, you know, that's the part everybody critiques, but if as many months as we've been together since last season, sitting in this room and talking about when we get into moments like this, what are we going to do? Because it's not always about X's and O's, and that's just the reality of it. So we were in that moment tonight. What are we going to do? Those guys stepped up, and they got it done. And I think what you take from that is a little bit like Colorado State last year. We never anticipated that. We got into it, and at the end of the game, we're in overtime, we won. We've been on the other side of that too. So the experience, which you all know, when you have things like that happen to you, you can draw from that and go, yeah, I can get that done. Sometimes there's that barrier of, you know, can I or can't I? And all of a sudden you get shoved right through it, and you're like, why did I ever think I couldn't do this? You know, I think our team just went to a whole nother level when it comes to that. Like, we're down here again, or we're in a tight ball game, okay, we know we can get it done. And to me, that's one of the key ingredients that we want to get done with this football team and the guys that are in here, because I think that matters as we move forward. It certainly matters in winning and losing, but it matters in a lot of other things too.
What did you see offensively? I think you only scored once in the last 9 drives. What did you see from the offense? And I guess maybe with that on that final drive, did you maybe want to milk more time off the clock or anything like that, or what kind of happened out there?
Yeah, no, I didn't see a lot of scoring. You said that there in those 9 drives. We wanted to run the ball. Yes, we wanted to milk the clock. We wanted to run the ball. We wanted to try to chew up as much as we could. They had 3 timeouts, and they were packed in there pretty good, and I wanted a shot. I wanted the go ball. So, you know, that falls solely on me. It's worked before, doesn't work, and that's how it goes. So that was a decision that if they're going to keep everybody packed in there, maybe we get a one-on-one outside. And they were dropping 8 in coverage quite a bit tonight and letting their D-line and their linebackers come up and fill, but their D-line played really well. So when you got guys like that on the D-line that play that well, and they've got really good size, you can drop 8. It's hard to find lanes to throw. Thought they'd be in a little tighter coverage, which they were that entire drive until then. And probably so because of down and distance and all that. We could have ran the ball, punted it. So, you know, how many seconds get chewed off the clock right there? Maybe 5. But the opportunity for a big play, I think that was worth it.
You probably want to wait 24 hours to think about it, but just to be able to get this win, the momentum, and now kind of get back into the final 3-game stretch here, and in particular the huge game next week on Friday night against Fresno. I mean, just I guess your excitement level to have a game of that magnitude and that importance, you know, coming up next week.
Well, yeah, I've already thought about it. We've had our schedule. We'll get on to Fresno next week. We played them before. Fresno's a good team. We have a lot of respect for them. They obviously played extremely well this year, but tonight's about BYU. We'll get on to that. What do we take from this? It doesn't really matter. You can't just skip steps in this process. You can't just decide now we're on to Fresno without putting BYU to rest. and learning from it and applying it. So regardless of whether we play earlier than normal, and we play a team that's in our conference, that doesn't matter. What matters is how we handle tonight, how we handle tomorrow, and then we go back and we apply what we learned to Fresno, and then we'll start working on that. And every game, you guys watch college football too, every week, right? Half the teams win, half the teams lose. We happen to be on the winning side. So we get another challenge against Fresno. We'll get onto that here soon.
Tyler's made a lot of big plays for you guys on defense. When you see the fumble, the type of play like the fumble recovery where he makes the
huge
strip and recovers in the end zone, is there anything he can do that surprises you anymore?
Well, I'm sure there are. I don't want to limit his abilities or give him anything that says he can't do that. No, that was they did a good job. They made a play, and he went and made a better play. It was what he did. And that execution of the strip, getting the ball out, the recovery, that was obviously a big part, big momentum change in the game. And, hey, that's what good players do. They play hard. When you watch anybody do anything well, they finish. They don't let whatever circumstance, the disappointment that they caught a pass, and all of a sudden you see guys sometimes will throw their hands up. It's somebody else's fault, whatever it is. They don't finish the play. Guy scores. They go down to 3. Not him. He continues to keep playing and decides, you know what, I know this technique that I can strip the ball and rip it away from him, and he does it. And that's exactly what happens. We recover it, and field position changes, and everything changes in that moment. So to me, that's always the thing that fascinates me, is when people can do that in those type of moments. All right, and you can describe it however you want to, baller, things like that. I mean, that's what he is. He makes plays, and he prepares himself to do that.
Have you ever seen a side of the ball as dinged up as your defense has been? You even had a couple tonight, and I guess with that, I didn't see Keikoa much late. Was he dinged up, or was it that just you wanted to get Jordan in there more?
I really, to be honest with you, I don't know. I think Jordan was playing well. Keikoa was right there on the sideline, right, so he wasn't off the sideline. I don't know the status of all the other guys. I know the status of the guys that didn't play, and I think we'll get those guys back. They'll be ready to go, but either way, unfortunately, it is what it is. I don't have an explanation for it. And have I seen that? Sure, I've seen it. We've had injuries before. I've seen it happen to other teams, but what do? Game goes on, and that's exactly what happens. And I hope every one of those guys heals up and gets back, and I hope they're okay. But the other guys have to step up and play, and they did tonight.
Yeah, just going back to that final stand, I know you talked about it a little bit, but Jabril says it feels like, he's basically in the end zone trying to defend this play. Curtis says he has flashbacks of a play in high school that was very similar. And
yeah.
I don't know, what goes through your mind as a coach is just hope they're prepared for this moment, and just on top of that, put up 48 points last week to win. You get a goal line stop by your defense this week to win. How cool are team victories, I guess?
Yeah, well, to answer that, team victories are awesome. It really is. So that wasn't necessarily, are we ready for this? It's just, hey, we've prepared for it. We've practiced situations like that. We do it in fall camp. We do it in the spring. To me, it's more about the opportunity. If you start thinking about, all right, are we ready? Can we get this done? You're probably not in the right frame of mind. It's more about, it's 4th down. We get a chance to stop them. This is the opportunity that we've been working for. It was more of that. And I think those guys thought the same thing. So in my mind, it was whatever they do, I thought we called a couple timeouts, so we had a pretty good plan, had a pretty good idea. And we had a good call, and those guys were ready for it. And what happened is what, I think what the defense expected. And to me, that's, when you have calls like that and you have moments like that and opportunities like that, that's the fun part. That's where you can build from. That's where you can grow, and that's where I think guys take a lot of that and apply it to the next opportunity they have in front of them.